Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. You know, I'm listening to Edward Allen, the Reverend Brother Pastor Deacon Dr. Hurricane Edward Allen Anderson of the New Greater Zion Valley Precious Lamb. Oh Lord, hold my mule while I shout. Golden Monument, Mountain of Hope, Faith Tabernacle, Holy Bright Morning Star Incorporated. And I'm listening to Convincing Them is a Waste of Time. Now, listen, Edward, we got to do something about the spelling, bro. But his messages are on point. In this particular one, I just got past where he said that his respect level goes way down for a black woman that's ever slept with an Arab man. I live in Saudi, and I understand why he would say that. I'm witnessing, and I already uploaded about this. If you go to the Buy Me a Coffee, first class will get you access to this forever. Business class will get you access to this for about the next 12 hours. Unless I forget and you get lucky. But I uploaded NUITL means not until it's too late. And I'm not really, I talk about the similarity in between the Arab males and Western black women when it comes to approaching different things in life. You should go in, give it a listen. 10th Drago will tell you about the first class. Shout out to you for letting them know. But in this one, I uploaded it, then I began to play Edward's video. So I uploaded it before I knew what Edward said. I recorded it before Edward knew he was going to say it. Because I recorded it yesterday. As I am recording this right now, I'm getting ready for work. I need to make this quick anyway, because as I get ready for work, I need to go in and supervise an exam for my students today. And they're a piece of work. They're full of shit. And I hate to say it, but they are. It's the last minute. We're down to the last few days of the semester. And there are certain things that their asses still don't understand. I don't quite get why it is that they wait until the last minute for everything. As a matter of fact, one of them said to me, the test will start at 12 p.m. ? I have taught my students multiple times, do not state questions in the same grammar as their answers, because that's something that you can fail the aptitude test or the IELTS or any other English exam for doing. I told them this. They don't listen to anything I tell them. So I don't know what the deal is with them, but I've said to them on multiple occasions certain things that have to do with English, and they repeat the same mistakes, and they're never going to fix them. And even now at the last minute, they're not fixing them, but they're worried about their grades. Yeah, boy, your grades are suffering because of the mistakes you don't fix, even after I taught you how to fix them. Well, I've had this talk with them. I recorded something about it. You'll hear more when you go and you join, if you have not done so already. But when Edward Allen Anderson said that his respect goes down, and he has no gripe or grudge with Arabs by definition, I know exactly what he means. Sisters themselves have stated certain viewpoints they want us to have about other groups. I lived abroad, and before that, I knew enough people from abroad to know when sisters were right and when they were wrong. They are right about how anti-Blackness is just taken for granted in Korea, not so much in Japan, but in China, in India, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Iran, in in the Arab world to a certain extent, which tends to change from place to place, but there is such, although it's probably worse in Egypt. It exists. I've talked about this. I've stated, yeah, it exists. I know that it exists. In the Arab world, for the most part, racial violence is not a thing. Ironically, that's more of a safety concern in North Africa than it is in other parts of the Arab world. It's not even known about in other parts of the Arab world. But while this is the case, let me tell you that because of the way that sisters have told us that we're supposed to view Arabs, Indians, Pakistanis, Afghans, the Chinese and the Koreans, and then what are they doing screwing these men? They're telling us that these women are just fetishizing us for the exact same thing that black women are telling us, that we are worthless, and even worth less, having a negative value. The very same thing that black women insist on, valuing enough to pay for the replicas, but devaluing enough to demand that the real thing pay them, then getting pissed when they're stuck with the replicas. Yeah, that. They want to turn around and tell us that these other groups of women are fetishizing us for that. It's not real. Bitch, if they respect us, that's real enough. But by the same token, if this is how they view those groups, then what are they doing opening their legs to those men? See, the Arab man is not like the white man, even when he calls himself white. The Arabs, some of them are like that. After all, they're the ancestors of white people. They're our descendants and they're the ancestors of white people. If it wasn't for them, I'm talking the original actual Arabs, not today's imposters, but the original Arabs. If it weren't for them, the ones that we know are black Arabs, if it weren't for them, there'd be no white folk. That's another story. But you can understand that because it's sort of like when you were friends with the dope boy. You and the dope boy get along, but he leaves you out of his dirt, and you ain't forcing your academics upon him. So y'all cool, but then this good girl chases the dope boy. And she's a good girl preaching in the Sunday school lessons and all that stuff, but she's chasing the dope boy. God sent him. Excuse me. You have every right to ask, even if you his partner, you his homie, you got every right to ask her, why a dope boy? Yeah, he cool with me, but for you, why him for you? What's up with that? Because you preaching against drug use and drug dealing in the Sunday school church meetings and all that. What's up with that? That's why it is that Edward can say what he says and not have a grudge against the Arabs themselves. In all honesty, think about if you were a black man, but you remind them of an Arab in the ways that you behave. She would see you as an incel. White women, you Arabs, sorry about that. The white women view Arabs as the ultimate incels. And we know what that means. They're not screwing him. They ain't smashing him. Why? Because they're looking at him like, ew, he just can't get it from somebody else. So, they always, that white women and black women alike tend to look at that as making a man creepy. So therefore, there's no way that they're going to choose this Arab guy unless he's abnormally tall and athletic and successful. And then that's okay. It's fine then. But, he's just Normal guy in normal shape. God forbid he wears glasses. Yeah, those guys. We know how white women view them. I've seen it happen. A white guy got pulled over by a cop because he pulled out, he answered his phone. He was he was one of those states that's along the Mississippi River. Forgot which one. But he answered his phone uh, and talked in Arabic on the phone. And then his neighbor, not his residential neighbor, but the lady standing next to him, asked him if he had a lighter, and he gave her a lighter so she could light up a cigarette because he was smoking too. And then later on, he got pulled over down the road, same highway, because an officer said that they got an anonymous call that a man was talking in Arabic, making terrorist plans on the phone, and then sexually harassing her. This was every stereotype out the book. It was a white bitch that did that. He got kicked out the States. Now, I saw his arrest record later, and what he got pulled over for was having liquor in the car, driving with open container of alcohol. Apparently, those are the only charges that were actually stuck upon him, as far as I could make out. But let me tell you, though, guys, gentlemen, if this is how white women view Arabs, and sisters are trying to view you through the eyes of white supremacy, and raising you and me to view each other through their eyes, which by extension means the eyes of white supremacy, what the fuck are they doing trying to smash Arabs or Indians or Chinese or Korean? Why are they trying to get with these dudes if they believe that they're the most racist? That's why I say we need some double standards. We choose women to choose us from these other races. Okay, well, I don't think that just every other race and woman should be given a pass. Don't get me wrong. But if we do, what business is it of the sisters? A sister and I might agree on which ethnicities of women are going to be the worst ones for you, but I'm telling you for the right reasons. She's telling you for the wrong reasons. But then if she's telling you this and she agrees, then what the fuck is she doing opening the legs up for one of the men of those races when she probably figures that they're sexually inexperienced anyway? It means they ain't got to be sexually experienced. You got to be a bedbuck. He doesn't. She looks at an Arab man, even if he's an Arab Christian or he's an atheist, which is rare. She looks at him as sexually inexperienced. But he gets to tap that. She looks at you as sexually inexperienced. She'll never respect you. Now, do you understand? You can't win. And this is exactly why it is that I don't want you trying. I don't want you making the effort. AC and I are we're in concert about that. I don't want you trying to impress any of them. Because right off the bat, they lose respect for you just for making that effort, just for validating them. Same validation they demand from you, they hate you if you give them. So don't give that to them. But also don't validate them laying down with some other dude. I mean, they can, don't confront them about it out of hatred or a sense of jealousy and possessiveness. Just look at them and say, oh, well, damn, you inconsistent. Well, what you mean? Well, I mean, let's look at how you actually view them. If you view the black man the same way that you view these other races, then that black man's too corny. But these men are still somehow man enough to get up in between your thighs. You're inconsistent. And that's self-hatred because the men you value getting with are the same men that you say fetishize you the most and appreciate you the least. So since that's your mindset, that's how you view them and that's what you expect of them, since that's what it is, let's call it what it is. That's how you view these men. So therefore, you're inconsistent. You see them as lesser men physically, but you're willing to get with them physically. What it comes down to is you're looking for a reason to disqualify any black man. Let's call that what it is. And when you get tired of any man, you're looking to separate him from his wealth and take his wealth with him and leave him with nothing. It is for these reasons, the things that go on in the minds that they carry out in their behaviors, that I actually am in favor of the way that Grinch talks and the way that the contractor talks. They sound like pimps in training. And I'm a Muslim that does not believe in pimping as a profession, but the way they sound and the diminutization that they express towards the Westernisha, any race really, but the Westernisha in general, I understand is necessary. I can't fault them for that because they keep witnessing the same behaviors that justify this. They keep witnessing these women screaming at them, if you don't view me this way, something's wrong with you. I wish it was different, believe me. As you hear me now, I'm getting ready for work. Just ate breakfast, changing up, about to brush my teeth. I'm getting ready to go in and supervise the final exam that my students are going to take. One is today, the other's tomorrow. And as I go in and I'm ready to supervise the finals, my students, as I told you before, are not doing anything that they're supposed to do. They've done nothing they're supposed to do, and pretty much all of them are bound to fail at this point. 2 could pass with a miracle. 1 can't pay attention, but he's actually studying. And he's a real piece of crap in terms of behavior. Like I tell this kid, and he just tests boundaries all the time. Don't talk to me about attendance. He interrupts the English to talk about attendance. I'm like, man, I will break your jaw. I'm getting tired of this, bro. So, and he's always bringing excuses. That's the Arab male. The Gulf Arab male, especially the ones that these sisters want to smash because they got money. Yeah, that's who they are. They're not completely incompetent. They're not even born that way. They just practice incompetency. I'm sorry, incompetence. Incompetency is not a word. They practice incompetence. They fake it till they make it. They practice stupidity. They fake that till they make that. Yesterday, one of them sent me a message in the new platform that we're using because the university blocked Telegram. He sent me a message and said, well, to be honest, Professor Black, you're too strict, and it's not really about bringing notebooks to class. It's not about bringing notebooks to class. Is this nigga serious? It's not about bringing notebooks to class. You don't know if this kid is writing notes or playing on his phone because he tells you that he's taking notes on his phone, and he might actually be. He's picking up Spanish on his own because he's interested, but when he talks to you in English, he's not making improvements. He's repeating the same mistakes. That's who these men are. So I understand why Edward Allen Anderson would say to you, with no grudge against them, no respect for sisters that lay down with those men. I get it. Because, see, I know the good and the bad of these men. But I also know that black men who acted like them would not get very far, except academically. Black men who act like these Arabs academically, you know what, even they wouldn't get very far with sisters. You know why? These guys are not openly disrespectful in your face with their bad academic performance. They're not like that. A brother, meanwhile, in any educational environment, if he wants to attract an attractive black woman, he's got to be not only academically upped up, he has to be openly loud with it, academically upped up. No excuses, nothing. Just he's got to pretty much give any educator a damn nightmare and headache and stroke. That's what he has to do. Then she sees him as a real man. And even that's temporary. So yeah, double standards apply in this case too. Thank you, Reverend, Brother Pastor, Deacon, Dr. Hurricane Edward Allen Anderson of the New Greater Zion Valley Precious Lamb. Oh Lord, hold my mule while I shout. Golden Monument of Hope Faith Tabernacle of the Holy Bright Morning Star Incorporated. We need this double standard. If we all with these groups and women, some of them good, some of them bad, but if we all with them, what business is it of sisters? If they are with these men, yes. What business is it of ours? Well, if we find out about it, the respect level has to go down because of what the hell it means in her mind to be with them. It says more about her than it does about them. I hope that what I've said is a benefit and explains some things and clarifies some things for you. Thank you for listening as always. Black Heart, Black Crown, Black Out. And black heterosexual non-select male power because they don't like it in Black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day. Thank you for flying with us again here on Jet Black Air, where the phrase jet black is also a verb. Shouts out to Compassionate and Callous for that poster. Keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender, justice, forever.